For thousands of years, people across cultures have asked the same profound questions. Where did we come from? Why are we here? What explains the beauty and the brokenness we see in the world around us? One of the most enduring answers appears in the opening chapters of the book of Genesis, the account of the very first man, the figure known simply as Adam. Tonight, we invite you to step back into that ancient narrative of the world freshly spoken into being, a garden of unimaginable beauty, a single life that carries the weight of every life to follow. Through vivid storytelling, careful scholarship, and the words of the text itself, we will walk the path from creation's first breath to a moment that changed everything. This is more than a Bible story. It is a mirror held up to the human experience, our beginnings, our choices, our longing for meaning. Join us now as we uncover the life and legacy of Adam. Our story begins in the void, before time as we know it. According to Genesis chapter 1, God creates the heavens and the earth in 6 days, culminating in humankind. On the 6th day, God says, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." And so, humanity, referred to in Hebrew as Adam, meaning mankind, is formed to rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the heavens, and every living thing that moves on the earth. But Genesis chapter 2 zooms in, offering a more intimate portrait. Here, God forms a single man, Adam, from the dust of the ground, breathing into his nostrils the breath of life. Adam becomes a living soul, the first conscious being in a world teeming with potential. Imagine it, a figure rising from the red earth, his eyes opening to a pristine landscape, his lungs filling with divine air. Scholars note that this dual creation account reflects different traditions woven into the text, with Genesis 1 emphasizing cosmic order and Genesis 2 focusing on human origins. God places Adam in the Garden of Eden, a paradise described as a lush oasis in the east, watered by 4 great rivers, the Pishon, Gihon, Tigris, and Euphrates. Eden isn't just a garden, it's a sanctuary, a place of abundance where gold, bdellium, and onyx stone abound. Adam's role? To till the ground and keep it, a divine mandate to steward this perfect world. But there's a caveat: of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. Adam, intelligent and purposeful, is tasked with naming the animals. God parades beasts and birds before him, and whatever Adam calls them, that becomes their name, a display of human dominion and creativity. Yet, amid this splendor, Adam is alone. God observes, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him." In a profound act of creation, God causes a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. He takes one of Adam's ribs, some translations say a side, and closes up the flesh. From this rib, God fashions a woman, bringing her to Adam. Awakening, Adam exclaims with joy, "This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." He names her Eve, meaning a mother of all living, foreshadowing her role in humanity's lineage. In Eden, Adam and Eve live in harmony, naked and unashamed, embodying innocence and unity. Their days are filled with tending the garden, communing with God in the cool of the day, and exploring the boundless wonders around them. No toil, no pain, just perfect companionship in a world without flaw. But paradise is fragile. Enter the serpent, described as more crafty than any beast of the field. It approaches Eve, questioning God's command. Did God actually say, "You shall not eat of any tree in the garden"? Eve corrects it, but the serpent persists, "You will not surely die. For God knows that when you eat of it your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Tempted by the fruit's allure, good for food, pleasing to the eye, desirable for wisdom, Eve eats and gives some to Adam, who is with her. In that moment, their eyes open, they realize their nakedness and sew fig leaves for covering. Hearing God walking in the garden, they hide. God calls out, "Where are you?" Adam confesses his fear and nakedness. Questioned, he shifts blame. "The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me fruit of the tree, and I ate." Eve points to the serpent deceived me, and I ate. God's judgments fall swiftly. The serpent is cursed to crawl on its belly, eating dust, with enmity between it and the woman, and between their offspring. Eve is sentenced to pain in childbirth and desire for her husband, who will rule over her. Adam faces accursed ground, toiling for food among thorns and thistles, until he returns to dust, for you are dust, and to dust you shall return. God clothes them in animal skins, a poignant act of mercy amid judgment, and expels them from Eden, lest they eat from the tree of life and live forever. Cherubim with a flaming sword guard the way back. Life outside Eden is harsh. Adam knows Eve, and she bears Cain, a tiller of the ground, and Abel, a keeper of sheep. Jealousy erupts. Cain kills Abel, earning a curse and a mark of protection as he wanders. Eve bears Seth, from whom descendants flow. Adam fathers other sons and daughters, living a staggering 930 years before his death. His lineage traces through Seth to Noah, linking Adam to the flood narrative and beyond. But what do historians say? The general scholarly consensus is that Adam is not a historical figure in the literal sense. Mainstream biblical scholars view Genesis 1-3 as ancient Near Eastern mythology or allegory, crafted during or after the Babylonian exile around the 6th century BCE, to explain human origins, sin, and suffering. It's not a scientific or historical account, but a theological one, addressing why the world is broken and humanity estranged from God. Evolutionary biology supports human origins through gradual processes over millions of years, not a single created pair. Some evangelical scholars propose models like a genealogical Adam, a real Adam amid a larger population, or an ancient hominid elevated by God, but these are minority views attempting to reconcile faith and science. The broad agreement? Adam symbolizes humanity's shared plight, not a biographical individual. Yet, his story endures, influencing art, literature, and theology, from Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel to modern debates on human nature. Adam's life, as depicted in Genesis, spans creation's dawn to mortality's shadow, a tale of innocence lost, resilience found, and legacy forged. Whether fact or fable, it probes the essence of being human, our origins, our flaws, our quest for meaning. In the words of the text itself, we are dust enlivened by divine breath, stewards of a world both beautiful and broken. This has been the story of Adam, timeless, profound, and eternally relevant.